Now I want to react to something, bro. I literally just got done watching that fight, and bro, no, bro, it wasn't even a fight. First of all, it wasn't a fight. Conor McGregor probably tore his ACL. That's what my chat was saying, and that was his partner was saying that. We gonna react to why Conor McGregor blows his knee in seconds at UFC return. Now, mind y'all, bro, before I click on this video, this dude just came back off a 5-year break. I'm really thinking he finna put belt to Holloway, but I had money on Holloway. I'm gonna give it a bean. I had money on Holloway, bro. And I was thinking to myself, nah, McGregor, I ain't gonna lie, he not actually getting a knockout. He not actually getting a knockout. You know, he might take a couple shots, but I don't think he's gonna get knocked out like he did in his other career plays. But let's see what's going on, bro.
Conor McGregor's long-awaited return ended just horrifically after suffering an injury to his right knee on the very first moment of the fight when he tried to throw this aggressive kick. In this video, we'll take a closer look what I think this injury is, plus the footage of before the fight that showed he may have had an injury coming into this fight. That's everybody. I'm Dr. Brent. We'll take a closer look what I think this injury is, plus the footage of before the fight that showed he may have had an injury coming into this fight to begin with. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and the goal on the channel is to teach more about the medical side of the sports world. This was literally the very first thing that McGregor did. He came out, right? The announcers are talking about he's full of energy, right? It's his first fight out.
Bro, full of energy. Bro, he was literally full of energy. It's like he ate a whole meal before the fight. Bro was ready. Bro was ready until this happened. And I'm thinking like, bro. And it's like, he took his shoes off and he looked limpy. Like he was like shaking off a little bit because he knew his leg was going to get. Like I'm saying to myself, how did he not know he was healthy before this fight? Did he want to go out there and compete? You know what I'm saying? Not care about the knee? Or did he just, you know what I'm saying, wanted to fight?
Was this crazy, ridiculous kick. And he lands really awkwardly on that right leg. Now, a lot of people are going to see this. The commentators were talking about it looked like he blew out his knee. I will admit, yes, this position looks like the classic position that you will see with an ACL tear in terms of the rotation of how the foot is externally rotated. The idea that we see a little bit of the knee going inward, the trunk is leaning over his injured side. And what you don't see on this injury is the classic pivot shift that you will sometimes see with an ACL tear. Now, that doesn't mean that this is not an ACL tear. You at least don't see that stereotypical kind of pathognomonic shift forward of the tibia and then pop backwards like we would if you could confirm 100% that this was an ACL. I think looking at it from this view is a little bit better because we can see kind of straight on. So here he goes and jumps off of that right side, twists as he lands down. This is a really awkward position for the knee, right? We can see a couple of different things. Number one, we can see how his trunk is leaning over that injured side. That's a strike against you when it comes to an ACL tear. We can see that he's landing on a relatively flat foot.
Man, ACL tears are so bad, man. Like, they are so bad. Like, I ain't never had one, but like, bro, I've been playing ball all my life, bro. I've been hooping all my life, bro. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I would not even, I'll be out there competing and I don't even think about getting an ACL tear. But like, I just be thinking about it at the same time. They so like, Kobe had one. And like, you know, y'all saw him like, if y'all did, y'all saw Kobe like walk on the court, right? And he was just not giving a fuck about the tear. Like, he was walking on his ACL tear.
Number two, the foot's a little bit externally rotated. Strike number three. This is not a 3 strikes and you're out situation, though, so bad comparison to use there. But as he comes forward here, we don't really see that classic, like, internal rotation of the lower leg, this knee abduction, the ankle kind of swinging out as the leg rotates inward. You really don't see that very clearly whenever he's coming through this kick and landing. Also, right, the ACL is there to help keep the tibia from going forward relative to the femur. And so when the ACL tears, what you can sometimes see, again, not always, but what you can sometimes see is the tibia want to shift forward and then pop back in place, and you see this recoil of the calf. Here, at least to where I can say 100% that's what's happening. Now, yes, when we see this position, when we see this moment, you absolutely have to be concerned about an ACL. I mean, that's definitely going to be high up on the list. Just pointing out, you don't see that classic pivot shift like we have seen in other cases. Subsequent sequences, right? They kept saying he was slipping. Well, he's not slipping. Every time he tried to put any semblance of weight on that right leg, we could see him go down. Again, we really we didn't see any forward tibia translation on this one here either. This was towards the very end. He steps again to put a little bit of weight on that leg. We can see it's very unsteady, and then just all of the as he completely comes up off of it. Now, what's interesting is when you look at the very last sort of sequence of the fight before it was finally called off. Again, we're looking at McGregor's right leg here. And if anything, you almost see like a forward translation of his femur. So, right, whenever the ACL tears, you're going to see a forward translation of the tibia going forward. Here, as we kind of go frame to frame, you almost see like his femur looks like it shifts forward. You kind of see that? Now, that could just be his weight shift. Maybe he's trying to activate the quad a little bit more, and then has pain and it gives out. But it's almost like you see the femur shift forward relative to the tibia, which would not be suggestive or consistent of an ACL. Even on this next step right here, again, we don't really see that classic like tibia shifting forward sort of position. And so actually seeing all this, my first thought would be a meniscus tear, specifically that lateral meniscus, because of him grabbing on the outside of his knee. The menisci are the two little cushion cartilage that help to stabilize the knee, distribute the weight throughout the knee. And they can absolutely get injured when there is a landing and a twisting mechanism. And then whenever you continue to put weight on it, it continues to hurt. That can continue to cause the muscles to
oh my God, bro.
Buckle. They showed us on the broadcast, like,
yeah, bro, this is what I'm talking about, Chet. This is what I'm talking about. He took his shoe off, and it's like he was shaking up, like he was touching like his left leg at first, and then he touched his right leg.
After the fight was over, basically showing McGregor when he was weighing in, you see, again, we're worried about his right leg. And as he goes to take that right shoe off, he kind of stumbles, but then very clearly doesn't want to put a bunch of weight down on that right leg. And
wow,
they brought this up as like, well, we don't want to speculate if he was injured going into the fight. But it absolutely, to me, looks like somebody who was dealing with something on that right knee, didn't want to put their weight down on
why
it.
did you keep playing, McGregor?
I think that would even be more
like. Why
did
he keep playing? Bro, that's just what if his whole knee, what if his whole leg snapped, bro? That would have looked horrible, dang. Dang, that would have looked horrible. Oh my God.
Maybe something like a meniscus. He'd been dealing with a meniscus injury before the fight. When he threw that kick, landed, twisted, that aggravated things. So I would still have something like a meniscus injury number one. Absolutely, though, an ACL, just because we don't see that shift, it doesn't mean that an ACL hasn't occurred. Just pointing out that we don't classically see it here to where I can say 100% that's exactly what happened. So going back through this whole sequence again, this was the very start of the fight. McGregor comes down. As he goes and lands, that knee is going to twist and rotate. This is, yes, but we don't see that classic tibia shift forward, hop backwards like you would to confirm like 100% that this is an ACL. The injury.
Bro! That is painful, bro!
The top of my differential is actually the lateral or the outer meniscus. Whenever he lands here, that is going to put a lot of load and twist on the knee, which can irritate an already injured meniscus, lead to a new injury in the meniscus. Again, though, this position, absolutely we have to keep an ACL on differential. I think, though, if we were going to see the ACL, if we would have been in this position, we would have seen that knee rotate a little bit more. We would have seen the tibia shift. So I'm going to put ACL number 2 behind the meniscus number 1. Really devastating. I mean, I remember the last McGregor fight, he broke his leg. So to see him come back, whether he was injured coming into the fight or this was a new injury, you got to wonder if this is going to be the end for him, if he can come back from another injury. If this is just a meniscus tear, that may still be surgical, but that is often a 3 to 6 month worst case scenario. Sometimes it's even just a month or two. Obviously, if this is more serious like the ACL, then we're going to be looking at a much longer absence. That's it for the video, everybody. Let me know as always any questions.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, like that. Yo. I ain't gonna lie. If y'all acting like this is bro, this is crazy, bro. Like, when I was watching it live, I was like, what is going on? I wasn't really paying attention to his leg. But then as soon as he kept slipping, I'm like, bro, I'm looking at his legs, and it looked like he snapped something. I don't know what he snapped. It was something. And I'm like, fuck, bruh. Fuck, bruh. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, this dude really, like, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, this is just crazy, gang. This is crazy. Bro, y'all boys let me know what y'all think. Oh my god, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm a UFC, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, bro. I'm a basketball fan, I'm an NBA fan, and I'm a UFC fan. And if you're not a UFC fan and you just bet money on McGregor, no. Yeah, if you just bet money on McGregor, bro, and you not really worried about how he just snapped anything, bro, you're not really a UFC fan. Like that's like, bro, oh my god, man. So I ain't gonna lie, it's just the time for McGregor to retire. Again. Again. That's crazy, bro.